Welcome everybody to this edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with my other hosts, Damon and Jaquari Armstrong. We have a special guest tonight, Bill Burnett, friend of the show, and we welcome everybody. We welcome you on. If you happen to be catching us on Instagram, you're in for the treat, baby. Second time we going live on Instagram. Hey, feel free to comment. Hopefully, we'll be able to see your comments here. But welcome. Hey, I'm gonna keep it a little corny, but it's real and it's authentic. We're in the middle. We're in the middle of Black History Month, baby. Really and truly, I experienced Black History life is what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? And the great thing about being Black to me is the discussion on how to be Black. Do you go from your gut, or do you go from how you're taught, or do you mix the two, or do you have another thing that you do? Please go to our YouTube channel, Strong Perspective Podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. Okay.
I'm sorry, Keith. Hey, Bill.
Yo,
Is somebody pulling you in a sled, bro?
why you say that? I'm driving home from work. Wow, what's up?
No. You know what it is that heat, man. He's in the middle of Philly. It's that heat, Jaquari.
Y'all got snow on the streets?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
After midnight.
Look, a couple of days ago they had like 3 to 4 inches.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, we from the Midwest, they from the East Coast. That's nothing.
Hey, man.
You know what it is, Jaquari?
Good.
You know what it is, Jaquari? That cold done seep down in my bones, man, and I need to turn the heat up.
Yeah,
Put on a turtleneck.
I just be sitting there shivering and aching, man. I said I got to have some heat on my feet. I can't stand that shit. Hey, man, you know what? Being from growing up in Michigan and everything, I'm not used to the cold anymore, man. I'm not.
Bill, how old is you, man?
That good southern heat, huh? For me?
Yeah, how old are you? You 2 years younger than me, right?
I'm 55.
55?
Double nickel.
So you 3 years younger than me.
I just turned 55 January 4th, man.
Okay. Let's start this off. Jaquari, how was your day today, my guy?
It was cool, man. It was cool. Nothing extraordinary happened. An ordinary day in the life of an ordinary man. That's all.
Ordinary man.
That's it.
Boy, y'all.
Hey, Spoke, you should have started off with. You should have started off with. My day was like a normal Black man's day.
All right, Damon, how was your day today? There you go.
My day was like a normal Black man's day.
Bill Burnett, how was your day today, sir?
It was a great day, man. Every day's a good day above ground, brother. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Every day's a good day. I mean, some days a little better, but every day's a great day.
Yeah. Big Bill is one of them old them large pretty motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? He's sitting up there shining through the screen.
Thank you.
Here's the thing. Hey. I'm blessed because both my brothers are them old pretty motherfuckers too. You see what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
What I know about Big Bill, he's part of the 500 club.
Oh Lord.
500 you know this brother bench press 500, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't do it no more, bro. My elbows, I can't beg at 250 now. My elbows are killing me.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens, though. That's what happens.
I used to be a dick with nothing. Now, oh man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bill, you from Philadelphia?
Yes, sir.
How's it? And I'm going to check in with you two guys also. How is it how is the energy in Philly from your point of view?
That's a good question. I guess for my age group, maybe a little younger, the energy's good because we can stay out the way. I guess that's I'm gonna say. I think for most people my age, we not maneuvering around a lot of stuff. For a young man growing up in Philly right now, I think it's very tense. If you live in the inner city,
Okay.
and very scary. I think. You know what I mean? Like my grandson barely goes out the house. I was in the streets. I was playing ball. I was down South Street. I was at the gallery. We got into a couple fights. We never worried about getting killed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with these young boys now, I think it's a little different. They got to be a little different for them. But I think for my age group, we find things that keep us, out the way and having a good time. So I think the vibe is pretty good. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
This time it gets a little tense in the wrong places. You know what I mean? But you gotta know how to navigate. You know that, key. You gotta navigate out of certain areas to put you where you need to be. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Keep your head on the swivel.
Head on the swivel. That's right.
And have heavy hands. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And you gotta have good instincts too. You gotta know when it's time to roll.
Yeah.
What time, you know what I mean? What time to fold.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Damon, you in Western Michigan, brother. How's the energy and the temperature there?
The energy, man, and where I'm at, man, is that we riding high, man, because our football team, man, accomplished some things that they ain't accomplished over 30 since the 50s. Number one, so we riding high on that, man. That's a good distraction for us. And our college, Michigan, won the national championship. So we're in a place that we don't, we have that both organizations, man, been on this type of winning streak, man.
I got you.
We never recognized that in our life, man. So Michigan is national champions. Detroit is on the verge of winning the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? In terms of distractions, we're in a good place, man.
Okay.
Everything else, huh?
What's the last thing you said about Detroit? What?
They're on the verge of winning the national title.
You already won the national title.
No,
Detroit.
Lions winning the Super Bowl.
Well, your own coach just said that there's no guarantee y'all coming back. Your own coach said that.
Of course, he's gonna say that because he's gonna gamble it away.
I'm not disagreeing with you, bro. I'm not disagreeing.
Can I say this? And I think we can all can agree with this. What hurt y'all, man, is y'all lost both your offensive and defensive coordinators, man.
Yes, we did.
What hurt y'all. You know what I'm saying? Ours came back.
Our defense was beat up and injured.
Ours came back. Ours was beat. You know what trips me out, man, is that when people look at the Detroit Lions, they say the same old Lions, but they didn't think about our offensive line being beat up. They didn't think about our safety and defensive backs was out for the season, and our other edge rusher, was it Houston, was out for the season. They don't talk about that when it comes to us.
Of course, they don't have a reason to. So
we didn't make any excuses, and we, you know what I'm saying, we handle business.
Okay, so
y'all really did. Y'all did. Go ahead.
I'm gonna give you a chance to really double down on what you're saying, Damon. So, from what your statement is, are you telling us that with Michigan and the Lions, it is a good distraction from what's going on in the street, or were you trying to get that deep, or what's going on?
We haven't had any mass shootings in the state of Michigan and nothing like that, man. You know, it's the everyday normal crime type of stuff happening.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But people in this state, man, is finding optimism as it pertains to the escape that we delve into, that we look at, and it's like it's a good distraction, even though we know at the end of the day we have to deal with the everyday life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have to deal with it. But that good distraction is wow. You know what I'm saying? We in some places that we never experienced before. Not since the 50s and the 90s.
Look, not the Lions. Yes, you're right. You're right.
You know, so
Jaquari, energy. You know,
Honestly,
yeah. Go ahead.
honestly, man, I don't know. I mean, because I don't go out. I go to work and I come back home, man. Seriously, and I hit the grocery store in between. I find myself in a space, man. Like when I first moved down to Raleigh with you guys,
Uh-huh.
and we would go out and we would have to monitor the places that we went and everything, and always be alert of about who was around and all that. Let's just say it's the same for my job, man. And I haven't had any negative interactions with the people I work with or anything like that. But I don't necessarily feel comfortable with them knowing that I make my home in the vicinity of my job. You know what I mean?
No doubt. No doubt.
So
I didn't even think about that, bro.
yeah, I used to. I mean, it was a guy, one of my guys. Stayed up the street, well, down the street and across from me for years. I didn't know that because he was a little kid until he got arrested the first time and he came to my facility. And I met him.
Is that the one who wanted to come and cut your grass for you?
That's the one who was cutting my grass for me.
I got you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that, bro.
Yeah. This to give everybody some context to what Jaquari was saying when he moved down here and attended the University of North Carolina Central. I was still a sheriff deputy. I was only in the middle of my career, and I always gave my family the heads up, right? Because you never know what foolishness you gonna run into, especially the people you run into. You know what I mean? Even if you treat them right, you never know what's what. You know what I'm saying? Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of context.
What happened in that situation, bro?
What are you talking about?
Oh,
I mean, he came to your house, man. Did he know who you was?
Yeah, he knew who I was. I mean, he was one of my guys. And
Jaquari gave him a snicker, so
yeah,
that was his guy.
So he just showed up, man.
Yeah, I mean, he knew who I was. Because I would see him in the neighborhood. He was a little kid in the neighborhood. Then when he came and after he got released or whatever, he came down to the house, and he was like, "Strong, man, please, man, help me out." So I helped him out, and
Okay.
it became a situation
All right,
where
yeah, all right.
when he needed a sandwich, he come and cut my grass.
Look.
Oh, okay.
Stand up. Let's stand up, because the thing I know about the guys on this screen is the simple fact that we remember the streets in which we came from. So we always moved in that kind of manner. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Like, if you can't, that's the thing about it is my goal has always been, and I want you guys to comment on this. My goal has always been to move around my life worry-free. But I've not been able to do so because it's always a reminder of who I was in the past, who I was in that particular present, and what I'm trying to be in the future. You guys understand what I'm saying?
I can relate, man, in the sense that just all four of us being guys of large stature or whatever. When people are around us and we get excited, their reaction is the same as somebody who's carrying the gun.
That's real. That's real.
So we've got to navigate. We got to navigate our lives in such a way, man, that is not only going to protect us, man, but it's going to protect the people who we're with. We also have to develop a very deliberate attitude.
Oh, you got to be deliberate.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of warnings to spare people with. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to get a warning at all.
Yeah.
So,
Bill, what you think?
I'm gonna piggyback on first Fluke's comment about the football team doing sports teams doing well. He's absolutely right because when the Eagles won the Super Bowl and the Phillies were doing real well, it was less crime. I mean, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, we actually took our old behinds down to Broad Street to celebrate. Because we
Hey,
never,
look,
I never thought I'd see a Super Bowl in the city.
the
And it was
next morning, the next morning, y'all knees was hurting.
yes. Listen. I forgot. My wife couldn't believe it. Went down there. We drove down there and parked down there with the white boys, the cops, the young black kids, the older black people. Everybody there celebrating, hugging each other. Complete
Yeah.
strangers.
Yes.
Complete strangers. Even the Phillies are doing real well. The same thing. You know what I mean? So yeah. So Fluke got a good point about that. Usually, yeah, when we were winning, when Eagles were doing well, the city was in a good space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had a parade, no mask. Of course, it happened in Kansas City, but then Philly didn't happen. People had a good time, like seeing black people, white people, hugging people. You know, even the cops were celebrating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then what Jacory was saying about living the same, I understand community. When I work with back and kids and health problems, I've never ever had a negative run-in with a kid outside the center, Schumann or Philly. Never ever had. When I'm thinking back in my time, I met some lunatics. Never,
Oh, yeah.
never. I don't. Everywhere I worked there, I was working with the worst of the worst. We keep and Schumann. When I came to Philly, the worst of the worst. And I run into some cats, you know, and I said, "Hey, this cat is out. This kid's back on the street again." You know, like, damn, who let him out? You know what I mean? And it was a positive, situation. You know what I mean? You might get a little. Can I hold something? Or like of course, saying, "Can I get a job? Can you help me out?" But I never had a negative run, and I'm thinking back yet on because I guess because I've treated them fair. And if I had to discipline them, they understood why I was disciplining them. You know what I mean?
No
Or putting
doubt.
hands on them, whatever the case was.
Yeah.
So
Damon, what about yourself?
With Bill, listening to Bill, man, he talked about the shooting during a celebration, man, a Super Bowl celebration.
that's crazy, right?
That how we are out of control with that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you. Now, we could talk about the celebrations and our teams achieving goals that we have never experienced before and all that stuff over the years. But this, I don't get it, man. I don't understand. These cats been to two Super Bowls. I'm saying you have to be selfish as hell and or under threat of your life, man, to harm. What is it? 8 kids that got shot.
20 people.
Where does that mindset come from, man?
So,
In a celebrational situation.
did anybody get any background behind that, Damon? Did you get any background on what happened exactly? Because I know a radio personality, young lady, was killed.
They're talking about. They don't think it was a terrorist type of situation.
No, it was 2 young kids, right?
Well,
I
they were
don't
fighting. They
know.
were fighting, and what?
Right. It turned to the guy said he turned a gun on the dude and started shooting in circles.
The news I seen,
Okay.
the news
Bill,
I
you breaking- I
seen,
can't hear you.
the news I seen described them as migrants.
What?
Migrants.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah. Look,
They're-
hey, Jaquar, you was watching Fox News.
well, hey,
Now I think some migrants tackled a kid though, didn't they?
I mean, but look, it's in Kansas City. But here's the thing. I don't know. This is why I'm asking you guys. You know what I mean?
You see-
Hold on
It's-
for 1 second. I want Damon to finish though, because
I didn't want to get into it, but Bill mentioned it, and I tried to come to some understanding about a celebration to somebody dying and others getting shot. Man, it doesn't coincide. It doesn't make any sense to me, man.
no, it doesn't. make sense to me. I agree.
maybe that's a good thing, man, because for a person to be able to rationalize atrocious acts. You know, I mean, it says something about our collective desensitization to shit like that. You know what I mean? I don't want to understand it. You know what I mean?
I don't want to understand it either.
I
But I
don't care.
think it's and guys, comment on this because, like I said, we on the road. We're gonna get into the meat of what we talked about. But when we try to justify is the wrong word. To understand, to Damon's point,
Rationalize.
to rationalize unnecessary violence towards people. Is it that the fact that we are trying to pack it as men? Are we trying to pack it away to deal with it? Or
Absolutely.
is it something else going on? The other thing that's going on, I have no idea. But to me, now, okay, real quick. I was in law enforcement for 30 years. And we used to have to deal with terrible things every day. And then there was horror we had to deal with. So some people had to deal with the horror with humor. You understand what I'm saying? Most people don't understand that. But they had to deal with it because it helped them to keep their sanity.
You talking about the victims?
Amongst each other, I'm talking about. No,
Right.
I'm talking about the law enforcement
Yeah,
people.
every time you watch an episode of Law and Order or SVU or anything like that, and they come upon a crime scene where there's a body covered in a sheet, and it's taped off all over it. They're cracking jokes. They're cracking wise.
And most people don't understand what these officers are doing, and it's television, but that happens in real life too. Yeah. They have to be able to absorb it because if not, they'll go crazy. It's not an excuse, and it's tasteless. It's tasteless.
But it's a job. It's a job,
right,
man.
Right, you're absolutely right.
It's the same as it's the same thing as if a plumber walks up on a shitty scene, and he looks at everything and says, you know, goddamn, it's a pretty shitty scene, and chuckles to himself. That's what he's got to do in order for him to tackle it.
When you look at the footage, man, you saw police run into the gunfire, man.
Mm-hmm. They have to. That's their job. They paid the right. Check out one of the guys about gun control. Ken Johnson.
So what does gun control mean to them, man? When the atrocity is happening, they're not running away or taking cover. They're running towards where the shit is happening. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so hold on, because you kind of choppy. You and Bill are kind of choppy, Damon.
That's me.
I think it's on my end. Now, try it again, Damon.
I'm saying we can have all these conversations about what we're speculating about, but at the end of the day, the atrocity happened, and when they show the footage, you saw police officers running towards the danger.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
Running towards the danger, and I don't think that people really consider, because those are people with families, man.
Yeah. But see, I can personally speak from it. And Keith Barnes, shout out to Keith Barnes, and shout out to Ken Johnson. Both these gentlemen. Keith Barnes is retired, just like me, from Sheriff Department, and also Ken Johnson is retired from NYPD for years, and basically just to really and truly help people to understand it. It's the simple fact that if you're put into a situation to try to, you got to go home. Basically, you got to go home to your family, and you can't take the BS with you because it's your job. And I'm talking about, Bill, when you worked at the Youth Study Center, Jaquaria, where you're working at now, And Damon, when you were working in the same capacity, you can't take it home to your family because it's not fair to your family.
Absolutely.
So you got to find a way. Now, I'm
100%.
going to say this, but go ahead, Bill. Bill, you said something?
I was just saying you were 100% you correct. You can't take it home.
Yeah.
People,
Take it to
people,
the bar.
people,
Take it to the bar first. Take it to the bar first.
Hey,
people in this business, man, have to live in a constant state of needing to win. There's
okay.
no aspect of losing in any capacity in what we do.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even if we can't win that particular award, the ultimate victory, we got to come out on top. That's how society stays safe. People risk their lives, you know, in order to protect others.
I
And
agree.
you have a certain sector of society, certain section of society who have a disdain for these people, because Damon, you mentioned the fact that these are the same people who run towards gunfire, but the people who rail against them are the same people who will shoot a man for stepping on the shoe in a fucking club.
It's opposites. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
There are extremes on either
And yeah,
side.
I tell you, the thing about it is, my last 10 years, I was a school resource officer in the high school. And the high school I was at was a very active high school, to be politically correct. You know what I'm saying? Very active. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on there, right? Look, I'm thinking about it and I'm cussing. I ain't been in there since 2019. But the thing about it is, to understand where you are and the possibility of what's going on. Even though these are high school students, see, most people don't understand that people who commit the crimes, the more blatant crimes, are between the ages of 17 and 25.
So these was young people who did the shooting.
So now hold on. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So
I don't know. I'm
17 and 18 was a vast majority of it, because there's some gang-related things going on. You see what I'm saying? So if I was on patrol, in which I was before I went into a high school, if I was on patrol, the things that happened, you know, the assaults, the drug-related things, the things that happened, this as far as true crime is concerned, was happening because of the young folks, right? So when I went into the high school, I understood that. I understood where I was. You see what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to give this kid a chance because he's still in that age range and he's still in high school. But when it came to criminal activity, I had to do my job. You feel me?
I don't want to speculate, but is it out that these was like young cats who did the shooting and shit?
I don't know. Jaquari?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't.
All right. We waiting for Bill to come back, but go ahead, Jaquari. Finish your point, then we're going to address Ken Johnson.
Did you ever find yourself in your capacity, man, having to kind of be like a de facto gatekeeper, man? And what I mean is, you know, there's some kids who do wrong, you know, because, you know, for the simplest of reasons, because of their followers. Some kids are, you know, a bit more diabolical in their actions or whatever. But have you ever found yourself being kind of like drawn to connecting somebody who was drawn to having a connection with a kid who wasn't a complete and total fuck up, in your opinion?
You talking to me?
Yeah. Or anybody.
Okay.
Open question.
Let me answer first, and then Damon, you can answer.
Real quick, I'm in transition to my house, so give me like I want y'all to give me like 5 minutes, okay?
I mean, we got you, dog. We got you. Damon, you can answer after me. I treated every kid in that capacity, even the ones I didn't like, right? In which, when I worked in the high school, the best way I could help a kid, and it sounds messed up, but it's true, was after I arrested them. And why I'm saying that is this. I can talk to the DA. I can speak to the parent. I can speak to the kid's probation officer about my opinion on how I see this kid. And that was my input to it. Because what I understand is helping, and I looked at it as being the parent.
Always.
Because the parent is the bad guy the majority of the time. John Armstrong. What did John Armstrong tell us? I don't mind being what? Damon? The bad guy.
He said the bad guy, man, but it was also predicated on the fact that he knew his sons too, man.
But listen to what I'm saying to you.
And
I stressed
challenged us.
I get that. I'm not going against that, Damon. What I'm saying is this is my answer to it. What I did was I understood after, because I had to do my job. And this was with adults too. I had to do my job. You know why? Because there's a certain structure. You can sit here and tell me, oh, this is wrong, and he did me wrong, this is why I reacted, and this and that, blah, 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 blah. I get that. I'm not ignoring that. But see, this is the thing that needs to be understood is this. I always understood that the people that I've dealt with, knew right from wrong.
You talking about the perps, the people
that look, normal people who broke laws, right, to the extreme, that broke laws, knew that they were doing wrong at the time that they did it. So me being able to help them is to, first of all, put them under arrest to get them out of danger. And then when I went before the magistrate or the DA, telling them how they acted with me. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because it spoke to their character after I arrested them. But let me tell you this. I've had people, and this last thing I'm gonna say, I've had people who acted a complete fool after I kick, oh, let's go. They acted a fool the whole time through processing the whole nine. But when I came before the magistrate, I said to the magistrate, well, how was he? Because that's the last question the magistrate has in the state of North Carolina. It's one of the last questions he had. Well, how did he act? Or how did she act? You say, well, she was difficult, but I was able to handle it. So that didn't go either way. That didn't influence it. You understand what I'm saying to you? It didn't influence the magistrate either way. It's like she was difficult or she was easy. He was difficult or he was easy. But the thing about it is, once I did my job, it's time to go until court. Damon, you had something to say?
I'm saying you speaking from personal experience and how you act to it, man.
Always.
Right. But isn't it always reactionary, man? Where's the proactive shit at, man?
Hold on. You got listen.
I'm not speaking to. I'm not speaking towards how you responded, bro.
No.
When
Hold
you
on, hold on. I'm speaking toward what you're saying, bro. Sometimes you can't afford to be reactionary. You have to get it done. That's what I'm speaking to.
But given the situation, if you're dealing with a situation where you have to address something that's jacked up against the law, whatever, isn't that reactionary, man?
You got to do your job. So your job is
Right.
always reactionary, right?
Right. So
Sometimes
how do we?
Sometimes you can't. Go ahead.
How do we deal with? See, the problem lies in being proactive, right? Would y'all agree with me in that aspect?
Okay.
Because when you look at in terms of law enforcement, the rule of law and all that stuff is always reactionary, man.
Because you can't be at one place. You can't be at all places at one time, though.
Right. But
that's why it's
being,
reactionary.
But being in that situation where it's reactionary, you have to stand on what you stand on.
Yeah.
The rule of law.
Yes, sir.
You have to stand on that.
Yes, sir.
But what if you're dealing with a kid, man, who's been abused, who just had a shitty life, and they just reacted?
Hey, are you asking me? Because I feel fucked up. Me personally, I feel fucked up when I know this kid has been through some shit.
Right.
But if I know that this kid has done some shit in reaction to that, bro, I gotta do my job.
So where do we go from tragic to just being reactionary and doing jobs?
Keith made a statement earlier, man, that to a layman would sound so oxymoronic, man. But he said that sometimes you have to arrest a person in order to protect them. That's a totally rational concept, man.
It's real.
Totally rational. But people, but oh, you got to arrest me? I'm having a psychotic break right now, and you have to arrest me? Yeah, and I'll get you some help after I secure everyone's safety.
But how many people
the individual
having a psychotic break though?
Well, they're not. That's I was generalizing. The personal rights and situations that a person is going through does not outweigh the greater good, unfortunately. Not at this time, not at this moment.
That's what's fucked up about it.
That's what's fucked up about it. That's the space that we have to work in.
Can I ask y'all something real quick? But why is that fucked up though?
It's
You're not responsible.
Because
you're innocent party. You're trying to come in and regain control, regain peace to keep his safety and your safety, and your partner's safety or the community safety.
Jaquari, go ahead and answer that.
Because it's got it deals with degrees of what Damon was talking about. Yes, that person's individual state of mind is very, very important, because him as an individual, he adds, to the substance of the community. I get that. I totally understand that. But cancer grows from a cell.
Get it?
But are we equipped to do anything but react though? At the moment.
And Bill, you just brought up a good point. We're not equipped to do it because it is the law. When it comes from law enforcement point of view, when it comes to incarceration point of view, we're not equipped, especially from the law enforcement. You have some flexibility when it comes to confinement, right? But from law enforcement point of view, you have to set the standard. Yes, I get it when it comes to black men and women. I get it. We have a different journey that we have to follow.
Well, just speaking, not to cut you off, but just speaking on the situation in general terms, isn't it about, they put that situation in terms of crimes of passion in there, man? Because people are not in their right mind.
I get it. That's true.
So how do you?
But Fluke, that comes later though. when it's time for trial. That's where it
Yeah,
comes.
but it
But at the
comes
moment-
later in terms of
The
being.
moment we
it comes
cannot,
later in
we
judgment.
cannot.
It
No,
comes
no,
later in judgment, but
yeah.
doing the crime, you know what I'm saying?
We can't afford it
We're
though.
trying as a people. We're trying to understand why did this person take it to that length. So we interject crimes of passion and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Is it always malicious, man? Or is it reactionary, man?
It is to the victim.
Hey, look.
Yeah, you can make that argument, bro.
It's a mixture of both, though, isn't it? It's reactionary, but it's also the other thing too, bro. Because a lot of times when things happen, like look on the screen right now, this is when me and Keith was working together. He said, Keith, the kid that returned and sexually assaulted the girl in school. He said he was going to do it, and he had to wait for him to do it. But see, here's the thing. The year before, this kid did the same thing. And I told Keith, I was shocked that he came back because the school let him back let him back, right? And I understand, Bush, no kids left behind, but it didn't make sense that you would bring him back into the same situation that he did the same thing with. And I was the deputy that was the one who was there for this whole thing. So my thing is, how this kid did something, the same thing in which he grabbed this young lady and sexually assaulted her, right? And then I charged him. He went through the whole process, right? Then the very next year, he came back to the same school and did the same thing. And this is what Keith is referring to when he says this shit. And what's so sad about it is the young lady, both young ladies had to suffer from it, but the second young lady we could have done something about. So, Jaquari, I'm not going to beat up on this kid because it's obviously he got some mental things going on with him. You feel what I'm saying? But tell me, and Damon and Bill, tell me, were you listening to me when you was off camera?
Yes, I was. I heard everything.
Okay. Tell me, and we're going to begin with you, Jaquari. Tell me, how would you feel if you was in my place, where the year before you took this young man to jail and he was 17 years old, right? So a little bit of optimism was sprinkled into it, but he did what he did. And I charged him, and he went through the whole process. Then the very next year, he did the same exact thing. Tell me, and this is just a personal answer, you three as individuals, how would you feel about that? And Jaquari, we start with you.
Well, personally and honestly, man, I feel quite shitty about it, man, because I've lived that situation. I've seen, kids who get arrested for committing atrocities against other human beings or whatever, and they're with us for a little while, and I get to know these kids, and I'm in a space where I can figure out that whatever happened for a particular set of reasons, and I have to divorce those reasons from that child in order for me to try to help prepare him to go back to where he came from. A lot of times, everybody can tell that if not the same offense, something usually escalated is going to fucking happen. You know, and you just got to deal with it, man. You either become jaded and you crack wise like the TV detectives do, or you build a concrete box in your mind to put that shit in, and that's where you store it.
Okay.
But isn't that responding?
Damon, Damon, you don't get your chance because I'm getting ready to ask you. We going to you. We're gonna ask you the same question. You, and this in a nutshell, you arrested somebody for a sexual assault on a young lady that's underage, right? Then the next year you're being a school resource officer. Then the next year they bring that individual back and he does the same exact thing to the young lady. What is your response to it?
My response is this guy needs to be off the streets and he's a predator. That's my response. You know, especially if he's placed in custody and he goes through the process, he understands that people recognize that he committed atrocities, that he's
Hold on. Let me sprinkle this into it, Damon. He was 17 years old when he did it the first time.
Okay. So do you want to factor in the juvenile aspect?
No, I want you to factor in it. That's all.
A broken person, man, be it because they were abused themselves, hurt people, man.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? So how is this person going to be a successful person in society if they don't learn that they cause harm to an innocent person? You know what I'm saying? Do we lock them away and throw away the key, or do we try to understand the psychosis of it, man? You know what I'm saying? Why did they continue to commit the same crimes? And in the situation that you described, brother, a victim is a victim. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody that's not in a position to protect themselves against a person like that. You know what I'm saying? That's predatorial type of shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's above my understanding, man, how to get a person to understand that you are a predator and you hurt somebody who could not defend themselves against you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's above me. That's people who went to school for that. You know, that understanding. But in society as a whole, I'm saying there are a number of victims. There are the people who perpetrated. There are the people who was assaulted, and then there's the people who have to bring that person to justice. You know what I'm saying? How do you come to in the situation and say, you know, this kid is 17 years old and I have to understand that his mind don't work, or he has an issue that needs to be addressed even though he committed that crime. You know what I'm saying? You have to have that wherewithal to be able to understand it on that level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm and just pushing back a little bit, and I know we won't move on, Keith, but Damon, just to push back a little bit, man, I understand that, and I pray that this young man gets help one day. But in the meantime, if any of us on this panel sits here and believes that those are his only two victims, we are being fools.
That's real.
But
I said, hold on, Bill. Go ahead and finish up. Then we're gonna go to you, Bill. Finish up, Damon. Then we're gonna go to you.
No, what I'm saying, man, is victims all around, man, because you have to live with yourself, understanding that you know that this person that you've dealt with in the past committed the same goddamn atrocities, man. No doubt. So you're questioning yourself. You know what I'm saying? Did you do what it, you know, were you in a position to stop this person from making other victims? You know what I'm saying? So that affects the person that dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to factor in, you know, what happened, what transpired between the victim and the perpetrator. You know what I'm saying? So all these things are factored in the system. You know what I'm saying? We let a predator get away to victimize somebody else. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that factor in, man.
Bro, we don't have
You know
control over the system.
Huh?
And we don't have control over the system. I'm just speaking towards you. How do you feel about it?
How I feel about it, man. How I feel about it is, if they're 17 years old and they go out and they commit the same thing after they were in the system and they were, the things that they did was addressed to them and they have a wherewithal and understanding, then I have no sympathy for them.
No doubt. No doubt.
I have no sympathy for them because it was pointed out to them. And then and they played the role to the point where they got away with it to go out to commit another crime. I had no sympathy for that perpetrator at all.
Okay, Bill.
The question was, how do you feel individually?
Yeah.
Okay. To me, if you internalize that type of stuff, you have a miserable life. All you can do is do what you can to try, because it's bigger than us. It's bigger than a police officer. It's bigger than a detention worker, a counselor. And like you said, it's a complete job for the court system, the family, the parents back home, everybody.
All of that.
All of that comes into play. If I did my job, I try to instill this kid. I made my reports. This kid's dangerous. We need to be very careful with this kid. After that, and this kid comes out of my custody, there's nothing really I can't worry about it no more. I can pray that he does well. I pray don't hurt nobody. But you can't. Or you be like in Philly a couple years ago, they were complaining about the district attorney, Larry Krasner, the police. The police union was saying we're locking these young boys up, but y'all letting them right back out.
Yeah.
Right? Because the prison was so overcrowded, you know how to get all that crap. And the police like this, we're doing our job. We can't keep, every time we lock somebody, we look up 2 weeks later, little Ron back on the corner again, laughing.
Ron with a motherfucking 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I've seen situations where I was a supervisor on the floor when we were hostile years in Philly, and I told them about a couple of kids, listen, these 2 kids are going to be, this is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to leave off the shift. This is going to happen. I'm telling you they're going to do it. They didn't do it because we was here that night. We ain't having it. We had to put them in the, we had to lock them down. What they got to do to keep control?
Yeah.
And the next day, it happened. I said, listen, I feel bad, but I did my job. I told y'all, I warned y'all, listen, you got to be very mindful. And if a judge drop a ball or district attorney drop a ball or the community drop a ball, really nothing you can really do. So you be sick as a dog. Cause I got so many stories. I can tell you about kids went out there and did atrocities. This is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just not me. Huh?
No, I say the one thing that every adult needs to come to the realization of, man, is that the system fails, man.
All the time.
All the motherfucking time. You know, you can have this fairy tale idea about how shit's going to end, about how this kid grew up on the wrong side of tracks and made some mistakes and got his shit together and went on to live a happy, productive life. But I'm here to tell you that most of the time that does not happen.
9 times out of 10, that's right.
So,
just real quick, think about what you're saying. I've seen kids come out of the system looking well, come back from Glen Mills or them places, got their hair right, got a haircut, they thinking they want to go to school, their mind is right, they clean, and get out of that community. See them a year later, they back. Because their home life failed them now.
But that's the whole point, though. It is the structure throughout our community, throughout our love. We had
A village.
structure. We had structure. We had people in place. Whether we liked it, and then I'm speaking in general terms, whether we had people that we liked in place, we had structure. So if we went down a road that was not a great road to go down, and we knew it was not a great road, the structure brought us back to this guy or this woman who's saying, yo, you cannot do this because of this, that. You feel what I'm saying? So, okay. That being said, guys, because here's the thing. This became organic. This episode became organic, meaning that it spawned some great conversation. The one thing I want you guys to understand, I don't give a flying fig that what a young person don't agree with me about, right? All I want the young person to do is listen. Listen. Whether or not you dismiss what I say to you, listen to what I'm saying. That is what I think our community lacks is we don't bother to listen to each other. We give each other 30 seconds. Am I being fair when I say that, guys? We give each other 30 seconds. If you don't give me no catchphrase, you don't give me something to grab onto in 30 seconds, then I'm going to move on, right? But the thing about it is, it's more than 30 seconds. It's 5 minutes. 5 minutes of hearing me rant about something that you don't like. But then it is the key word. Then in the fucking 6-minute mark, I say something that's going to change your life. I think, and comment on this thing, guys, and we're going to start with you, Damon. I think that we don't have enough patience and we have a fear of taking in something that somebody say that we don't agree with. We don't want to fuck with it. Within the first 3 to 4 minutes, we don't want to fuck with it. Because I find out this dude is 30 years old. What the fuck is this motherfucker going to tell me at 30? He might tell you a lot. Because what it is designed to do what? Information is designed to do what? It's to be taken in no matter what the source is. You feel what I'm saying? Damon, I need you to comment on what I just said, bro.
Here's the thing, man. You know, and if I take it to a biblical sense, man, God give you the choice, man, to choose them or not, man. If you and don't judge you on it. You know what I'm saying? Only your actions, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes some people got to get their head bumped, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. And as we watch this person go through that maturation process, we were like, well, how come they didn't listen to me? Sometimes people need to get their head bumped, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people need to be sat down so they have to contemplate on their actions, man. And that's I think that's beyond us. You know what I'm saying? You know, we all want to be that person who makes a change in somebody's life, man, especially if we have convictions. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if we have convictions, man. But sometimes, man, that doesn't work. And I'm speaking to 3 brothers right now, man, who knows this far more than I do. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, when we talk about victims, you know, y'all are victims too, even though y'all didn't commit a crime. And y'all had to come to a judgment passed on somebody else. Gotcha. You understand what I'm saying? So how do y'all struggle with that, knowing that sometimes somebody got, at a point in time in a person's life, they had to get knocked upside the head, man. You know what I'm saying? They had to be set down. A cat be in prison for 20 years, man. Get out and say, you know what, I learned from it, and never go back. You know, people are hard-headed. People are believe what they think and feel how they feel, and they don't give a shit about the victims that they create in the process, man. And that's why they got to deal with the consequences of it. You know, they got to deal with the consequences of it, and that's where it is. And you know, to piggyback on what Ben was saying, hey, you did your job. It didn't take. So they got to deal with their situation. And you don't have, you know, as far as, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, you don't take on that responsibility of somebody else's bullshit.
I can't, Luke. I can't. I got too many other things I got to deal with. You know what I mean?
And you working directly with that particular population, man. So you know, I respect where you're coming from in that aspect, bro.
And sometimes somebody told me, it's bigger than us. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than Nino Brown. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot of.
There you go with those bullshit references, but you
said Nino Brown.
Nino Brown.
If they ain't a conflict of
that light skin curly head motherfucker right there.
And we wonder why they confused, bro. I know you just being you, dude. I know you just being you, Bill.
Jaquari, hey, we're gonna go to you last, Damon. Jaquari, what you think?
I don't know if this answers your question or not, man, but I don't really feel that way. I hate to.
No, Jaquari, what way? What do you mean? We need because I don't feel this way, man. But
feel what way? Wait. I want to make it. I don't want to answer a question with a question, but I want to say this, you know, to get your reaction.
Okay.
How would you feel about an American justice system where nobody got released?
You asking me?
I mean, just in general. I mean, it's not a question that I necessarily need to be.
I'll answer this.
No. I don't need you to answer it.
Okay.
Just ponder it for a second, because I'm gonna put a couple of things out there and you know, just to see how you guys deal with it. Okay. Working with kids, man. That's kind of put me in the space to believe that some people just ain't gonna do right. Some people are just criminals.
But you know what?
That's the reason.
Not to cut you off. I'm sorry. I apologize. But that's some real shit what you just said. But go ahead.
Yes, sir.
I want to see where you're going with it.
No.
I mean, it's the reason.
Shit. Go ahead.
It's the reason why the three strikes law was created. It's the reason why the term habitual was invented. You know, how do you address somebody who just fucks up all the time?
Who don't
doesn't care about the consequences. You know, I'm dealing with a population of people who consider it a badge of honor to be able to do hard time.
Yeah.
How do you combat that?
Well, doesn't the onus fall on them if they choose to go that route?
Good point.
It would if they only cause harm to themselves.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, Jaquari. Damon has a great point. Because of your question, it's like, yo, you know this shit is fucked up, what you're doing. So our job is not to save you, it's to save everybody who's chasing you.
But that stands on that whole, because I was victimized, I'm gonna create victims. Where's the rationale in that dumbass thinking, man?
But here's the thing, though. If you have somebody who has control over people's ways that they think, you're going to always create victims, right? Because you have people who's going to follow them, right?
And the rationale lives in the fact that kind of thinking exists.
And that's what's so fucked up about it.
Absolutely.
kind of thinking exists.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all something. Any mental health institutions in your area that deal with mental health, like people who've been victimized or anything like anybody? Y'all know any?
Well,
Oh, most
Well,
everybody
y'all can
I
speak
knew,
to that more than me.
everybody that I knew was dealing with mental health, Bill. But what's your point, though?
I mean, like you know, if you get victimized, you're a victim, and you victimized because you got something that's imbalanced now. You got an issue.
I
You're trying to
get
deal.
that,
You're trying to deal with something. You got to get
Bill.
it off your chest, so you take out on other people who you think are
Bill.
weaker than you.
I'm gonna
Bill.
say this.
I get that. No, go ahead and finish your core. I get that, Bill, but understand.
I don't get it. What was he
It's
saying?
no excuse. It's no excuse that
No,
no, hold on. There's no excuse, and I'm not saying this is you. I'm just answering your question. There's no excuse when you've been victimized and then you find other victims to victimize.
Yeah, but what point was he making though? I want him to finish.
No, I wasn't making an excuse for nobody, Fluke or Keith. I was just saying, in a lot of what's going on in our community is mental health, bro. We have some mental health issues, man.
I mean,
and we're not
Bill, do we have mental health?
I think we do. I think live on the street.
I think no, hold on. You are absolutely correct, but I think it's more a mixture of motherfuckers who don't give a fuck, and they want to inflict pain on people, and people. When I say the mixture, is people who don't know no better.
Let me ask Bill a question. Let me ask Bill a question. Isn't that what you speaking to, bro?
Kinda. The other day, I don't know if y'all were on the news the other night. 83-year-old woman got shot. Stabbed 10 times on her porch. Right?
I saw that.
And she's a pillar in the community. Everybody love this woman. She done raised trillions of young boys and young girls in that neighborhood.
That's real.
She got grandkids, the kids. Like when it happened, I saw the boy on the news say, "Listen, we're gonna find that cat, that motherfucker.
That's
we're gonna
real.
find him."
That's
She's
real.
gonna like me for cussing, but
because that was, hey Bill, what was they gonna do when they found him?
They're gonna kill him. And the boy said, we've been telling everybody this dude's sick, and we done dealt with this dude a couple times. And the dude stabs 84 20 times, 10 times, but he got a rap sheet of like 17 like aggravated assault record.
Yeah, that's real.
I don't know if none were murder or attempted murder.
It don't make no difference though, does it, Bill?
I guess it don't make no difference.
It don't make no difference.
Here's a situation that happened here in Battle Creek, man, this week. I gather, I don't know all the information, but from my understanding, man, that this homeless person felt like the police was harassing him, so he shot the police in the leg, and then the female officer killed him.
Just recently?
Just recently. So that was I would assume and be comfortable with assuming that was a mental thing. You know what I'm saying? It was a mental thing. He shot the police officer in the leg because he felt that like the police officer was harassing him, and then the police officer's partner shot and killed him.
So let me ask you a question.
So if that person was malicious, who shot the police, you know what I'm saying? He just shot them in the head or in the chest.
Hold on. Hot bullets burn. First of all,
I'm just saying.
No. My point. No. I get.
You can make the argument that there was some mental shit happening.
I see your argument. I'm not arguing you. I'm not doing that. All I'm saying to you is, her partner or his partner was there, and they had to make a decision at the snap moment. He got to go.
He got to go.
And look, I'm not trying to be heartless. My point is, you're out here. You talked about it earlier in this podcast. You're out here serving the people. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not questioning the reactions of the partner. I'm saying that person who committed the crime, who shot the police officer in the leg,
Yeah,
was there some mental shit happening?
it could have been. Look,
Very well could've
nine.
been,
No,
man.
look. My point is 9 times out of 10,
It is.
yes.
Was he living on the streets?
My
Was he living on the
experience,
streets?
yes, it is. It's
Mhm.
always mental, dog. It really is. It
And I
really
think
is.
child molestation is mental. Serial killers mental. I mean, some shit is survival. Maybe Robert Hope before.
I'm gonna push back on you, bro. Child
Huh?
molestation, that's predatorial shit, man. That ain't mental. That's predatorial shit, man.
Mental
Somebody
health.
else.
I think it's a mixture of both, though, Luke, right?
Well, you know what, and you have to convince me of that, man. And
I
that
get
might
it.
be the case.
I understand.
Hey, Fluke, question for you, Fluke. Is that normal behavior?
What, child
No.
molestation?
Hell
Yeah.
no.
So it's just some imbalance.
I can come to absolutely me in my mindset and my thinking. I can come to that conclusion, man.
That is normal behavior.
I can come to the conclusion that it's not normal behavior.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Okay,
right.
yeah. We all on the same page.
You know what I'm saying? But somebody else could argue something different
What could they argue?
because it doesn't make sense to me.
You're a sick
You know what I'm saying?
motherfucker.
So that there's a conundrum there, man.
I mean,
You could argue.
you know what?
You,
It depends who's talking. But go ahead, Jaquar.
yeah,
But
you could argue that it's
here's what I
Fluke,
here's
Fluke.
why I say what I said, Keith. Here's why I say what I said.
All right,
Bill
real quick,
said-
and then let
Bill
Jaquar say
said,
something.
"Is child molestation mental?" I would have never came to that conclusion. He asked that question, so I could say I don't know.
Right.
In my explanation, it's not.
All right,
and
Jaquar.
as horrible and atrocious as that act is, the first or second offenses, that person is not going to spend the rest of their lives in jail. So what do we do with them? Mental or not?
Why would you say that? If he molested a child, you don't think he would spend the rest of his life in jail?
No.
That's why they got the what's that thing out there?
You
No.
said
Yeah.
second. He didn't say first time. He said second or third.
But don't they got that
What's
thing
that?
you got to sign up for the state troopers to watch you where you live at? Megan's law.
You do.
Megan's law.
Yeah,
Megan's
yeah.
law.
That's
The
the
Corey might
re-
be right. The Corey might be right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if a person, look, the my thing is this, man, and I don't know if I'm generalizing or not, man, but if a person is arrested for a particular crime, a horrible crime, unless it's a crime of passion and it can be proven, that is not the first time this person has committed that crime.
You're right.
I get it. The first,
Jacory, real quick,
time they get caught.
Jacory, I gotta say something. I gotta add something to what you're saying. And this is my opinion. I could be wrong, but the reason why that child molester probably gonna get let free at some point because they're not equipped to deal with him or her. They're not equipped to deal with it.
Bill.
You got to think about who child molesters are, man. They are not hulking. They're not hulking figures who walk around
No.
and
First-
exude fucking dread. And,
First of all, no.
and
Hold on.
That's-
I don't. Go ahead and finish your quiet. Then I want to answer behind you.
Yeah, these are. I mean, from what I've noticed and what I've seen, you know, through experience in the media or whatever, when they show these people, they don't look like menaces.
All right. Okay. Now,
They're
I'm trying to
very.
figure out how to coincide
say
with
this.
the act
Let me-
and
no.
how they look. I'm trying to figure
hold
out.
on. It's not how they look. If they've been convicted of that particular crime,
Right.
period.
But no,
They have to-
my point speaks to why they're released.
No, here's my thing. Wherever it depends on what state they're released in, Jaquar. But in the majority of states that I personally understand that you are for life, you have to report
To the state troopers
this is what you're doing.
every year, right?
This is where you live every single year.
And you can't live next to schools. You can't live
This,
next to
this is the state of North Carolina. If you do
That's
not
what-
report, you are subject to spending
schools.
the whole incarceration in jail. Period.
Or get murdered.
But here's my point though. There are some states that have something in place in which there are checks and balances when it comes to these men and women. Period.
Rule of law. You know what I'm saying? We have to follow the rule of law.
You have to. There's no doubt about it. So the thing that I'm most interested in is this. And I want to ask you guys, and I'm not sure, because let me address what Ken is saying. And here, I'll put it on the screen. He said, yes, I would feel the system fell both victims. That person should have never been put into school. This is what we were talking about earlier. But we already addressed this, Ken. That student needed to be under a long-term evaluation. I get that. So let me ask you guys this. When it comes to, and I'm veering just a little bit, slightly, when it comes to our community, is the best for the individual interest or the community interest? And number three, the blending of the two. You guys understand where I'm coming from with it?
No, I'm not following.
Okay. So, for us to move forward, do you guys, this is why I said this is what we're veering away from what we're just talking about. Do you guys see that individually, if we were to only consider our own interests, right? Our own interests, our family, ourselves and our family, period. Is that the best course of action? Or is it more or less we need to find a way for the individual and also the community?
See, what my question is what the best course of action, Keith?
This is your opinion.
You say the individual. Are you talking about the victim or the perpetrator?
No, we're not talking. We're talking about just look. This is what I'm saying. We veered away from it. This is what it has nothing to do with any crimes right now. It's talking about individual interest in where your family is going, where you want your family to go in our community. This is why I said. This is why it started off with we're veering away from what the subject that we're talking about. We're talking about this, your individuality.
You saying in general? Let me ask you, Keith. You're saying about raising your family. It's best to say, okay, I got me and mine. That's my first and only important priority.
Yeah.
Their success.
Yes.
Blase, right?
Yeah.
I think that has to be though.
But hold on. The other half of that is, if you, Damon and Jaquari, if you understand what Bill is saying, the other half of that is because of our families as individuals, our families' longevity, grandkids, great-grandkids, great-great-grandkids, right? Do we need to, along with the individual effort, do we need to make sure that we pay attention to the community? You guys understand what I'm saying?
You have to pay attention.
Yeah.
I understand that.
I'm talking about minimum to major sacrifice to the community at the same time as you preserving your family.
Well, I was kind of raised like that though.
Okay, Bill, we'll start with you. Tell me.
In my old neighborhood, like I call everybody uncle and aunt.
Okay.
You know, and it was now. I didn't realize I wasn't blood uncle and aunt. I said, I got a big ass family up in this block. Anybody calls it uncle, aunt, cousin, my cousin, things like that. So for me, yeah, but in the meantime though, you started to focus on your initial priority, and then it did take a community. You got to invest in the community. I mean, that may just by being a role model or being a ear listened to, when somebody's hungry, giving them a meal, or like my mom will feed everybody. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
My mom make a fucking. Excuse me, I keep cussing. I'm sorry. My mom will make a beef stew.
Because
And-
you're good though.
Yeah, and walk down the street and give it to the crackheads. And they like, your mom ate, you know, it's like stuff like that. Like she made sure her kids ate. You know,
Yeah.
her house is stuck right. You know what I mean? But we would say, Mom, where you? I was like, Mom, where you going with that? You know what I mean? She, I gotta walk with our sister like try to hit the head. She want that shit giving people like, you know, the drunk dude, Mr. Black, you know, a bottle of water and some bread and a couple, you know, a bowl of stew. So
Okay.
I mean, I guess I was kind of raised thinking about the community, but your priority is always your family first. I mean, be too long,
But
but
that goes without
Right.
saying.
right.
Is how much time did you, just for Damon and Jaquari,
Yeah, go ahead there.
I mean, Jaquari and Damon, how much time do you preserve to the community because you know your family has to live there? We'll start with you, Damon.
Based on what my understanding of what you asked, the question you asking, bro, I'm dealing with my family first, man.
But
If my family is,
that's understood. I'm talking about what resources or how do you think towards the community after you deal with your family?
understanding the example that I'm setting towards the community, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you factor in my experiences, be it being an example or being victimized, man, I'm still sticking with my family, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
We're
and
not
my
making
job,
questions, bro. We're
my
not making
job,
questions. I just want to know your opinion about it.
my,
That's it.
I'm giving you my
Okay,
opinion.
so that can help Keith a little bit. At what point do you say, let me help the community too? Like at what level, like say, okay, my family's straight now, I go ahead and help the community. I'll, you know, whatever.
Well, isn't your family, man, isn't it your hope that your family's reputation is what grows the community, man?
Sure. I agree.
I get that, but what is your contribution?
My example, making sure that my kids don't victimize people.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying?
Help
Making
the old
sure
lady
that
across the street.
my kids
Help the old lady
are
across the
an
street.
example for somebody to follow based on
Gotcha.
their own
I like
abilities
that.
and personality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't afford to think about somebody who's been victimized, who's victimized other people. The only
Let me
thing I
ask
can
y'all-
do is say, hey, this
Hold
is
on,
how.
Bill. Let Jaquari answer first, then you can chime in.
I got a question for all three of y'all real quick. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut nobody off. Y'all father was a big man, right? A pillar in the community, right? Was he able to scold other kids on your block?
Yeah,
Was he able to discipline other people's children?
he did. Yes.
Okay, all right, okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jacoy. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
No, go ahead, Fluke. Finish up, then we're gonna go to you, Jaquari.
My dad was able to be that man in the community because he set an example, man.
That's giving back.
Right. He set an example based on when other people are looking at your family. Let's be honest, man. When other people are looking at your family and they
100%.
see that you are setting a good example, there are
100%.
some people who are waiting to see whether your kids fall off or not. You know what I'm saying? And even though they see your kids doing a great job, they saying, well, you know, all these different nuances factor in. Well, they think they better than us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that is, and that's not your motivation. Your motivation is for your family to prosper and survive in a system that's against them.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? That's your motivation. And that's where your mindset is. If other people are paying attention and without being boastful and all that stuff, your only position as a father, as a man in a family, I have to raise my kids to be respectful of the elders. I have to make sure my kids don't go to jail on no bullshit, trumped up charges, whatever the case may be. That is your role, man. And that's the only thing that you can be sure about is leading by example in a positive situation. Now, if you, that guy who say, hey man, get what you can get and be who you got to be and charge you the game, then you a negative you're negative towards the community. But
I
what
get
if and this is my last point. What if you are doing the right thing and you standing on 10 toes down on your stuff and you're doing the right thing, and you got people for some reason sitting back to them out, this brother think he's better than us, but I'm waiting for his.
I'm sorry. Who gives a damn what the fuck he think about? He's one person, and you being who you are as a human being. Period.
What I'm saying that especially in our community, man, when people are doing great, there are people who are sitting back still waiting for them to fail, man.
Of course.
So
That's
understanding that situation, you being the man that you're trying to be for your family and your community, do you listen to what these naysayers or these people that are waiting for you to fail, or do you just be the best that you can be?
Yes.
And then you leave,
right.
leave that to you leave it in God's hands, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Flugie, don't success breed contempt? Don't success breed contempt, Flugie?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
You can't worry about it.
Unfortunately, that's the case, bro.
That's human nature. Jaquari, what do you think?
Historically, man, you know, because I think we talked about this a bit yesterday, but historically, man, you know, we started out, this country started out with a frontier mindset, right? So we had our homestead that we were expected to take full responsibility, and you know, our immediate community. Now, within our immediate community, the only public institution that we were expected to support was the church. With the onset of modernization and you know, the Industrial Revolution or whatever, and the widening of manufactured resources, we had to expand not only our community but our ways of governing that community.
No doubt.
You know,
Good point. It's a good point. Yeah.
The needs of the community increased, but the household resources seldom did. And we became, you know, more and more dependent upon, you know, the help of our neighbors. Now, we're in this box where independence is paramount to everything and everybody. Our own personal independence is more important than anybody else's personal independence. But you know, we've run out of space to be able to go out and prospect, for our livelihood. That's I don't know. I forgot what my point was, man. That shit. Look, that shit was damn near brilliant, though.
No. It was brilliant. and then you started flickering off. No.
Yeah.
But look, okay.
But you get my overall point, man.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
So all in all, I say that our household contribution we should only contribute a fraction to the community. We should only need to contribute a fraction of our own personal resources to the community.
No doubt.
And with those collective, with everybody's collective shit, we should be able to take care, of our less fortunate.
Learning how to trust each other, which we are having a hard time to do.
Yeah.
Period.
Karen, as a matter of fact, I'll go so far as to say, man, that giving a shit about your fellow man is pretty much a recent phenomenon. We didn't give a fuck about the Morgans who was the new homesteaders, and they was having a hard time starting crops or whatever. We didn't give a shit about that. We might take them something.
It's the conditioning.
I think. Could I push back on that, man?
Coming
out of slavery, man, there was a lot of kids born who didn't have mothers and fathers.
But bro,
and those kids, those slaves who came out, they raised those kids, man. They were
it was a sense of community.
Yeah, two things.
That's where we were coming from. Period.
Yeah, two things, man. Number one, the slave community, the slave population was that we were a pariah. That's number one.
We
And
understood
number
what we
two,
were.
yeah, and number two, our population was so small, nobody gave a fuck about our plight. So we had to rise above our petty differences.
But here's the thing, Jaquar. Piggybacking on what you're saying, it seemed small, but it was rather large, but it was the information that was provided to us, period. You see what I'm saying? Where it was larger. See, I've always been the proponent of, people always say that black people in this country is 13%. I believe it's way larger. You want to know why? Because they're always searching for us to vote a certain way. I can't give you the information. I can't give you anything other than the fact that that's common sense. Why are you coming after me if it's only 13%? You feel what I'm saying? Why are you coming at me if you're telling me that I am only responsible for 13% of this population? Stop playing. It got to be more. But I can't give you the numbers because the numbers are being skewed or whatever. So let me ask you this question, and this is the last question, and please be quick. And we're going to start with you, Damon. We talked about this last night. I said I saw a podcast that promoted spending black, right? And this young man said, I don't remember the name of the podcast, but this young man said, and it hit me deeply. He said that spending black, we have enough dollars in our community to create our own ecosystem, right? But we do not. We divert it to other people's ecosystem. I'm talking about spending dollars. And the young man said that we have at least $1 trillion worth of spending cash, not power, not anything like that, but spending cash. What's your opinion? We're going to start with you, Bill.
Could you start with food? It makes sense. I can say that. I don't know how we can correct it.
Hey, Bill, what makes sense? The $1 trillion worth of spending cash or the ecosystem? Bill, hold on.
Okay.
What do you think about the fact that we can create our own ecosystem, individual ecosystem, and we have $1 trillion worth of spending money? What do you think about that?
I think it sounds realistic and maybe factual, because look at the Asian community. They borrow from each other. They got their own banks. They got their own like parts of cities. They got the whole city. Like Chinatown. You know what I mean? Spanish people with the bodegas, and and we don't really own much anymore like we used to. There's no mom and pop stores, no community stores. I mean, I guess it makes sense, and it's something we need to correct. How we correct it, I never been a great businessman. I wasn't that good in macroeconomics, so I couldn't tell you how we correct it.
No. Hey, Bill, this is our opinion. That's all we look for.
Yeah. It's true. I think it's factual. I mean, look, hey, this girl's got Fendi bag. We the flyest broke people I've ever seen in my life. Gucci and Fendi. And, yeah, really. I mean, young boys work around brand new Air Jordans. Air Jordans about $400. I'm still wearing Air Force Ones. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
So it sounds realistic. I don't have numbers to prove it, but it sounds right. It's something we need to correct. I mean, I see a lot of young kids now are doing more entrepreneur stuff. We grew up looking for a pension. We grew up looking for stability. These cats now are a little more different.
That's all we knew. That's all we knew.
My mom really get a good government job and get a pension and health care, and retire and live your life average. You know what I mean? These kids have aspirations now. They content creators and they want to own their own businesses. You know what I mean? So maybe this generation here can build that back up. On Instagram, I see a lot of black-owned clothing companies and stuff like that, like Ofafo, things like that. So maybe it can turn. Yes, it can turn, and we can start rebuilding that. But I mean, we have to do that at some point. I mean, we can't ask everybody else for a loan. There was a bank called United Bank. I don't know if that was just Philly, but that was all over the United States. It was a black-owned bank. You heard that bank called United? Yeah. Is that just Philly or was that everywhere?
It's everywhere, man. It's everywhere.
In Philly, I don't even see them. The one we had down Market Street's closed. I don't think it even own. They in Philly. Like we don't trust each other enough to say, okay, let me open up a bank and put our money all together.
No doubt.
We don't trust each other, in my opinion. Italians do it. We used to do it. Asians do it. You know what I mean? So Albanians do it. Albanians got their own community up Northeast. Now they got banks. They go their own people for loans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Things like that. So I don't know. I mean, it needs to happen though. We may not see it. We may not be allowed to see it, but hopefully it will happen.
First of all, Bill, you're absolutely correct. It's an effort. It's an effort on everybody's part.
Yes.
It's on you. What do you think?
Who?
It's on you, Damon. What's up?
Oh, here's the thing, man. And allow me to finish this point, man. Here's the thing. I think that we as black people in this country don't recognize, man, because we are steered towards the monetary aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing that we don't recognize, man, in terms of fairness, man. You got Chinese, Vietnamese, all these different people coming into this country, building these businesses and all that stuff, right? They coming with a cachet, man. They coming from another country that these United States have investments in. You know what I'm saying? They have investments in these different countries. So when a Vietnamese person come over here and they open up the business in our community and whatever, these people might be doctors, they might be lawyers, they might be upper echelon type people, but they're relegated to convenience stores and stuff like that.
Hey, right? Damn it. Isn't that the smart thing to do? If you can't get in, you fit in where you need to be?
Right. You get in where you fit in. But here's my point, man. My point is this. What we are missing is that they have a cachet, their own home country that our country is invested in. So they're going to give them low interest loans, or they're going to take away tax incentives and all that stuff. They're going to do that. Whereas we as African Americans, we are looked at as somebody that needs to be taken care of, stepchild type shit. You know what I'm saying? So when they think about us in terms of businesses and all that stuff, when they think about us, they don't see us as an investment. They see us as somebody that's looking for reparations or feel like they owe something. That's how they see us. So when it comes to us with small business loans and all that stuff, they're like, oh, it's a risk. You know what I'm saying? Whereas opposed to some immigrant coming, they got something that we can get from their home country that might benefit us. You know what I'm saying? So it's the mindset. It's not monetarily. It's mindset. And the mindset is, why are they always asking or begging for something? Why are they always victims?
But Damon, let me just say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but let me just say this. Isn't that the beginning? Of course, motherfuckers is gonna say that they gonna bring up all your lack of whatever. You know what I'm saying? Of course they're gonna say that. But if you have the backing, of motherfuckers who with you, like they gonna ride with you, period. Talk about in your community, right? If they gonna ride with you, it don't matter what this other motherfucker gonna say because they're about money.
Let me ask you a question, Chief.
Yeah.
And this is real. This is a real honest question I'm gonna ask you, man. No matter how successful a black person is in this country, right? Do they, in the back of their mind, feel like or think that it's gonna be taken away from them?
Bro, let me ask this. I'm answering your question. Let me ask this. Does it fucking matter?
It does matter, bro.
Hold on. Does it matter when you're going after the actual goal? It's not the cosmetic of it. It's not what other people think. It's about what is actually happening.
You asked me a question, man.
I know I just answered your question for you. You just asked me a question. I answered it for you.
You asked me a question, and I'm giving you my honest opinion, man.
Okay, bro.
A black person in this country can be successful as hell, grind, create all type of avenues to make money and all that stuff, and because of a reputation or some old bullshit, it can all be taken away from them,
bro.
And that is the motivation.
So let me just say this.
As opposed to
you're absolutely right when you say that, but let me ask you this: if there is a black person who has a business and he is actually earning actual dollars, it don't make a difference what the fuck the stereotype is. It's the fact that it's the bottom line when it comes to the dollars. Period.
How do you erase that stereotype, Fluke?
It's not a bill. It's not erasing the stereotype. It's about actually just keeping going and moving on. And
why did you ask that question, bro?
Hey, Fluke, answer that question though. If it don't make a difference what a motherfucker think about you, and
right.
about the money that you generate, then what difference does it make?
Keith, you have an opinion based on what you think should be righteous and how.
Okay, so you're actually doing the same thing.
Am I?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We are both expressing our opinion. You feel what I'm saying? It has nothing. It's no right or wrong. It's how you feel and what's your comfort zone. Period. That's how I feel. Now you might feel differently. I get that, and I respect it. So it has nothing to do with Damon's right or wrong. No, it has nothing to do with that. This is how
I'm not trying to convince you whether I'm right or wrong. I'm just stating
that it is.
I'm trying to state the fact, man, that because we are bastardized, man.
Okay.
People.
So say you're right, Fluke. I get what you're saying. I get you. What are you supposed to do?
What do you do is convince.
How do you deal with that?
I think you should. I think you should keep this going forward and make it happen for yourself.
What you do, man, is make the people, us as African Americans, understand that it's not about of contributing to the American dream, which is not our fucking dream, man. We have to understand. We as African American people have to understand that we as a people, you understand? We as a people have to understand that we are our own country. And then we negotiate from that standpoint, bro.
That's a good point.
We have to negotiate from that standpoint. It's not about every now and then one of us might become a billionaire. It's about negotiating, man. With a country that does not see you as you know, you are the bastard child. You're not.
But my point is this though. When do you get to the point, Damon, where this walking the line that you're walking, that you embrace the fact that you have this kind of power instead of a hopeful, hey, recognize what I'm doing. Because that's the beautiful thing about this social media thing is you have more power because of the people who you are, your personality. You have more power than most people think you do.
Keith, I don't mean to be long-winded. Can I give you a quick, a quick example of what Fluke is trying to say, I think, or you trying to say too, Keith? It's
Okay.
like sports, right? For years they said blacks can't play quarterback.
Okay.
Black men can't quarterback or even coach teams, right? They can't quarterback, right? They can't quarterback. Now we got what top 10 quarterbacks in the league, maybe 7, 8, or 9 are black, right? Except maybe Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? So that right there says, but kind of what Keith's saying. You can listen to all the naysayers, you listen to all the all the doubters and all that. At some point, you got to press on and change the narrative. You have to. Can't worry about what somebody think of you. You trying to do right and build something, right? You know, you can't. I mean, you can't worry about it. You got to push forward. In my opinion, I could be wrong.
If all the black NFL players left the league and started their own league,
there wouldn't be no league.
Exactly.
Because it's all about money. Yeah, that's where we are.
No, it's about resources.
No,
People, resources, and ability. That's what it's about, bro. It's not about money.
No, it's in my opinion. In my opinion, this is how I think. It's about. It has nothing to do with the resources, but the resources have to do with talent. Period.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so but they're making money off the talent of these individuals. Period. People love stories. People love entertainment. That's what people love. They don't love anything else other than that.
Okay, so what point is you making, bro?
First of all, what I'm asking you, what point you're making, because what I'm saying to you is this. Now, what I'm saying to you is this. When it comes down to the entertainment part of professional leagues, that's what they pretty much thrive off of, is how people feel about the different individuals, period. Has nothing to do with.
You just said earlier, collectively, we generate trillions of dollars, right?
That's true. That has nothing to do with entertainment, though. I said nothing.
I'm not speaking of entertainment.
I'm talking about spending dollars. What we spend our money on.
Right.
The dollars.
So you can't negotiate like countries do with each other?
The only way and
build your shit.
That's a good point, but the point is the only way we can actually negotiate is the simple fact that understanding what we actually have in our spending power. We don't understand our spending power because if we know
we understand our spending power.
Hold on. Let me just say this. Well, if we have trillions of dollars to spend and it's still the same old, we don't understand our spending dollars.
Key, we understand individually, we understand our spending dollars when we go out and buy that Escalade, bro. We get that.
No, we don't. We do not, because
let me finish my point, bro.
No, hold on, brother. It's not that simple. Just going to buy that Escalade, it has nothing to say, because it has to do with what Damon wants to do. If Damon has the money and the power to buy the Escalade, it has nothing to do with just our overall as people. It has nothing to do with what our spending power is.
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
Look, it's no right or wrong to this. This is what I've been. Listen, when I'm talking to you guys, I'm not trying to debate against what you think. It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. What it has to do with is the simple fact that understanding where we are. And I don't fully understand where we are, but I understand parts of where we are. That's it.
All right.
That's all. You know what I mean? Because, hey, look, the three of you guys know, I'm not going to say it. I would have said it already. I don't agree with you. You know, I would have said that. Just knowing me as a person, I would have said that. But what I'm doing is asking questions because I want to understand.
Look at that question Malika Harris had.
I see that. Malika says, start their blocks their own league without money. How many are going to choose that? What would you do? First of all, Malika, just to answer your question, this is my personal, and I want you guys to answer this. First of all, seriously, as individuals, when we're responsible for our families, we're going to choose the league that has the money, period. Not period, I'll take that back. But we're going to gravitate toward the league that has the money, period.
Okay, that's a good thought, Keith. But how about the guys who've been making all the money in that league for all those years? Why they can't manifest together and say, okay, we're gonna peel off now and put our money together?
So, Bill,
Well,
what stopped them?
Let him finish his point, Keith.
He finished his point, dog.
Whenever-
It's answering to it.
Hey, excuse
What
me.
about them
Excuse
folks
me.
that already made their money? What happened in the beginning?
Excuse me. Anytime black people pool their resources, be they financial, intellectual, political, it becomes dangerous. We
Why
die.
does-
We
why
we
does
die.
it
We
become
die. We die when that happens.
Why does it become dangerous, Shakur?
Because African Americans want equality on the same level as white people, and that's never going to happen.
Why? Why?
Because white people
Why do you
established this country.
Okay.
From my experience with racism and everything, man, yeah, it angers me, it pisses me off, but I hate to admit that I understand it. I understand racism because if you are in a position of power and you have subjugated everyone,
you don't want to give up the power.
You do not want to give that power up.
Yeah.
You know what my wife told me one time? Go ahead, Spar. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm just saying, I mean, you know, I read somewhere a few years ago that the African American community was the 8th largest economy on the face of the earth. I don't know how true that is today.
Yeah.
But there is money in our community.
It is.
We do not have the financial wherewithal to concentrate it in one place long enough to make a difference. We don't have that.
Because
people come from different countries and everything. They already have a financial mindset established, and plus they want equality, but they do want it on the same level as the Caucasian community, but they're not willing to sacrifice their livelihood and their comfort to go out and march for it.
Because it begins with us, Jaquan. We don't want it. What we want is the thing for our family to feel comfortable.
I don't agree with that. Here's the thing, bro. First of all, you have to understand all the things that's against us to try to convince us not to be for ourselves. That's number one. Number two, my wife said something to me. She said, when you think about it on a basic level, be it in the animal kingdom or the human kingdom, whatever. When you think about it in the simplest forms, man. If you got a pride of lions, man, right? And you got 5 female lions and 1 male lion, and they trying to have babies by that 1 male lion, right? To make sure that their lineage survive, to build up the community. I'm saying it's no different with human beings, man. If you got a black woman who has an inline to make sure that her kids are educated and do well, do you think she's actually going to share that information with anybody?
It has nothing to do with the Pride of Lions, because the Pride of Lions.
Hear what I'm saying, bro. Hear what I'm saying.
Only have one leader.
Hear what I'm saying.
They hunt together.
Hear what I'm saying. that female who's vying to make sure her pride survives is willing to share, but she's going to make sure that her cubs get the lion's share.
I get
It's
that.
no different, bro.
It is different because we think differently from a pride of lions.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
We may think differently, man, but when it comes to resources, they all dissipate in the same way.
Of course, I understand that, but it is the fact that this is where I am with it. The simple fact is this: that of course we're going to follow, that line of, oh, this is a pride of lions. We have the one male lion controlling everything. Then we have the female lions worried about their children, because that's what the female lionesses worry about. And the male lion worries about keeping his seed to move on. But we as human beings have nothing to do with what the fuck lions do. That's how I see it.
Okay,
Look,
you're wrong.
You
So
know,
you're saying,
no,
so
you
you-
can talk.
so-
You can talk. Let me say.
you're saying
You can
that
talk about
that
instinct, but really and truly, as human beings, you have a different way of thinking when it comes to compared to you and lions. Period.
of course, man. I mean,
Is that
it was a generalization, man, but
No, I
the
get that. I
the
get
fact
that. I wanted to say that.
the fact that both creatures have a natural need to procreate is the main point.
But the point I'm trying to make to you is this: the lion that is in charge of the large pride, right? Him and his brothers, or him individually,
Mhm.
is only thinking about himself, period, right? But as us being human, we inadvertently think about at the same time, we think about ourselves, right? We think about ourselves, but we also think about, just as black men and women, we think about moving on and becoming more than that moment that we are. That to me, I think that makes more sense than just throwing it out there. Well, go ahead.
Two things, real quick. And the pride, the lions, the male lions want to kill the cubs.
They want
They
to
don't
kill
want the cubs. They don't want.
the cubs. Why
They don't want the cubs.
Bill, why do they want to kill the cubs? though?
They want the boy cubs don't grow up and take over what they got.
Exactly.
And the mothers protect the boy cubs from the king, from the father.
That's
Y'all
some
missing the
individual
whole-
shit, right?
Huh?
That's this individual. What
Individual,
that
yes.
one lion thinks of himself, right?
Yeah, they like the girl Makai. You gotta get this girl Makai Harris on your show. She got some good points. They live in day to day. We thinking about
Malika.
long term survival.
Malika.
Malika. She makes some good points. She made a good point before too. They lions thinking day to day survival, where the next meal's coming from. We thinking long term. I think we think long
So
term.
y'all,
We try.
I'm not gonna belabor my point because I think I made it, and I think Keith, you kind of substantiated it for me, man. You know what I'm saying? I just tried to make an example of people in general. It ain't just for black people. I'm talking about people in general. Everybody, white, black, whatever. They want their kids to have the best education.
Of course.
They want their kids to have the best education. They want their kids to eat the best food, fresh fruits, and all that stuff.
That's yeah, right.
All right.
They want their kids to have a future and all that. And the point I'm making is, at its simplest form, that's what life is with
Okay.
human beings, bro.
And that's a great point, Damon. So let me ask you a question. Other than your children, do you think past your children? your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, because understanding that you want your children to have a great life and all these different things, do you think past them and your grandchildren, your great grandchildren? Legacy stuff.
What you mean think past? What do you think? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Think past.
Legacy other than just your children, your grandchildren,
grandchildren.
Well, you know what? From my standpoint, from my vantage point, I just want mine to have a foothold, bro.
But
based on the survival skills
I get it. But what does your foothold mean when it comes to your children?
Isn't it obvious?
No. I want you to tell me. Does it have to do with your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, when it comes to your foothold, when it comes to your children?
That's obvious. You just
no.
Stated the obvious,
I told you I wanted you to say it.
You told me I did say it, bro.
No, you didn't. Go ahead,
bro. Life is about survival and lineage, man.
Okay.
And
I get it.
When you think about it in that aspect, we as human beings want to think that we are these spiritual whatever, and we are above all this. But in essence, we are simply about surviving and making sure we have a lineage, man. And that's what it is, bro.
So what does it mean?
So that said,
when it comes to your grandchildren and your grandchildren.
So that said, Keith, is it always monetarily, or is it about the essence of life, surviving?
Okay, I get that. You don't see me disagreeing with you. I'm saying to you, I asked you the particular question. What does it have to do with your grandchildren and your great grandchildren? That's what I asked.
I think I answered that question, but if I didn't
answer it for me, humor me.
If I didn't answer it to your satisfaction, I apologize for that, bro.
Bro, you didn't answer it.
Yeah, it's time to move on, fellas.
Yeah.
You didn't answer it. This is what I'm saying.
It's time to move on, Keith.
Hey, Jaquari, I get it.
It's time to move on, Keith.
No. I want all three of you guys to understand what I'm asking. It has nothing to do with who right or wrong. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
It's a particular question.
Okay.
That's all. And we can move on.
I get it.
And the last question of the day is this. And it has nothing to do with you. Look, Damon, you are not right. I mean, you are not wrong in what I'm asking. I just wanted you to elaborate a little more to me. That's all I wanted. It ain't had nothing to do with shit. You feel what I'm saying? It ain't had nothing to do with anything other than the simple fact. I just wanted to hear your voice because your voice is powerful. You understand what I'm saying to you?
I understand.
The questions that I asked you three gentlemen is because your voices are powerful. You will reach certain people who need to be reached. Period.
Excuse me, man.
You know? So, last question of the day is this. I saw a young man, and make it as quick as long as you want to. And Damon, you got the long wind, and your lungs is gigantic. So we're gonna put you on last. And the question is, I saw something that a young black man said who was promoting spending black seminar. So he wanted folks, this is Northeast, he wanted folks to come through and just talk about spending black, right? I thought his question was interesting. He said, we have enough dollars in our community to create our own ecosystem.
You already asked that question, bro.
Yep.
I need you. I want you to reiterate. See, that's what I'm talking about. It has nothing to do with anything. I want you to bring it on home. Okay? because we veered off on the actual question. And the thing about it is, we're able to create our own ecosystem. And the thing that you guys are familiar with is what I said was we have $1 trillion worth of income to throw into our community. That's what you're familiar with. The actual question was, we actually have that power. And my question is to you is, what's your opinion about that? And we'll start with you, Bill.
Well, I totally, like I said before, I think I totally agree with it. Again, I'm not an economics major. I'm not, really sure how we can reverse that whole situation, but I agree with it wholeheartedly. I mean, I don't know what more I can say about it. I mean, just someone got to figure out a way to pull together and do that. I mean,
Bill, my
Yeah.
point is, when somebody tell you they got $1 trillion to spend, right?
right?
They have $1 trillion to spend.
That's a lot of
And I'm
money.
talking about just miscellaneous dollars. It has
Right.
nothing to do with the simple fact that the miscellaneous dollars in the $1 trillion mark has to do with you edging towards something that's black owned, that's going to benefit the community,
Right.
right? What would you do with it?
Would I do $1 trillion?
Yes.
Wow. I feed the world, bro. I don't know. I would build businesses from my family and close friends and to run. I mean, again, that's a wild question. I got nervous thinking about that type of money.
Of course.
I got nervous. Sometimes
Bro, you need to be nervous. I'm just saying to you, this is complete power. This is complete monetary power, though.
Right. Sometimes I struggle with my little $5,000 budget a month now. I struggle trying to make it right. So with $1 trillion, I would need to take help somebody I trust to help me build. I mean, I could just bank so people can get loans. I don't, again, it's a hard question for me to answer, but I would have to seek the answer. I had to do some more research and
What do you mean by seek the answer, though?
put myself around the right people who can mentally, who have, I guess just people out to seek research how I can put that money into the best use.
Okay.
First, like Fruit was saying, first I'm gonna secure my family and my grandkids and my great grandkids.
You have $1 trillion, so it makes no difference.
That's my point, right?
You take care of your family. I'm
Right.
talking about the resources taking it back to the neighborhood.
And even with us trying to get in our own, trying to build something for our own, we may need their help, the other white people's help in some way, shape, or form anyway, to get those connections at some point, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't answer that question like legitimately. I don't know.
I got you. Hey, look, there's no right or wrong in this. I'm asking your opinion about it.
Right. Yeah, I will figure it out though. I will do my damnedest.
Okay.
Put myself in the right situation.
Quarry, what's your opinion?
I would build schools.
Yes.
And make them available for young and old people to attend at the same time. For the sole purpose, man, of not necessarily re-educating our population, but helping us to learn the right places where to cut away the fat. A lot of times, man, in dealing with public resources or whatever, a lot of things, are there, and we take advantage of them unnecessarily.
Okay.
If our knowledge of money management and resource management was a bit more extensive, then we wouldn't necessarily need to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Gotcha. But that's all you think you have. Of course, you're gonna go that route, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at Malika said.
I get it. And I was going to address that. Damon,
All right, go ahead.
what's your point?
The first thing I would do is convince my community that it ain't about what you buy in your own individual personal life. What I
Great
would
point.
convince them
Great point.
is,
Great point.
is that you can stifle a country like the United States with that type of buying power in terms of negotiating to get your needs met as a collective.
Gotcha.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
Hey, I got a question for you, Keith. This is from Fluke, because Fluke mentioned the community too.
Okay.
Can you still live in your community with $1 trillion?
First of all,
You can't live in your community
Bill, here's
with
the
that kind of money.
It's a question, Keith. It's a
No,
question.
no, hold on.
Okay.
This is no right or wrong answer. But the fact that you have $1 trillion, you can create your own community. Period.
You want to know? Can I say something? Can I say something?
Hold on. Let me just ask Bill this. You understand what I mean by that, right?
Yeah, of course I do. I
Okay.
think so. Yeah.
It is the simple fact that no matter how much money, I understand the safety value of it. It has nothing.
For your family, your kids. Yeah.
I get that. But if you have $1 trillion, right, you can create your own community that is going to be geared towards us.
Can you?
Yes.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I think that our community have to understand. If you have access to $1 trillion as a community, right?
Yeah.
It's not about what you could buy. It's about what you can negotiate, man.
That's true.
It's about what you can negotiate.
That's true. But
And
I think it's a blend of both, though. But
Do you
go ahead.
know the United States, man, operate off credit, bro?
That's real.
They
That's
operate off credit, and they dictate everything.
Loans, everything.
Yes.
They dictate everything. That is the power. Not because you got the money to spend. People got money to spend. Hell, the continent of Africa got resources.
Yes.
And they poor as hell. But their problem is they don't know how to negotiate as it pertains to what these other countries need and depend on.
Can we live in our community, Fluke, with $1 trillion?
No, because
Okay.
motherfuckers gonna try to come and get it.
No, I want to hear Fluke answer. Keith.
No, hold on. I mean, come on, that's a loaded question, Bill. What the fuck do you mean? Can you live in your community with $1 trillion? What do you want? No, do you want to live in your community with $1 trillion? It's the real question.
Okay, well, do you want to live in it? Do you want to do that?
You want your family out of safety. You want them out of harm's way. You want them to be safe, right?
Let me ask y'all both this question, man. What makes you safe, man? The understanding that you can negotiate. That's what makes you safe, bro.
I don't agree, bro. I don't agree. I think what makes you safe is your family can walk out your door. Your family can walk out your door and not worry about some dumb shit that happened at your local gas.
But you thinking small time, man.
But
here's what I mean by that.
That's the question that you asked.
Here's what I mean by that.
Okay.
Here's what I mean by that. If I'm in a position where I have my community behind me that has $1 trillion, right? I can negotiate to the world what it is that I need from them to make sure that I'm safe.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Good point. But can you negotiate safety with the money?
Yes, because if you bring harm to me,
I don't believe that.
If you bring harm to me, you lose out in terms of your community.
Individuals don't care though, right?
I said,
am I being? No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about individuals. I'm talking about individuals that individuals spawn into communities. Some individuals don't care, right?
You know how they
Because
say.
they're selfish.
You know how they
Right?
say. You know how they say. The devil's biggest thing that he did was to convince the world that he does not exist.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know the thing that makes everybody pay attention is if you got $1 trillion goddamn dollars in the world,
It has nothing
you
to
can
do with it.
you can dictate people's economy, man.
I understand. But when it
Okay,
comes
then.
to
So if you
hold on. When it comes
if you
to
had the
the
wherewithal,
when
you
it-
know
when it
how
comes-
to listen.
when it comes to the base level,
Gee,
some people
you
don't
talking
give
about
a
base
shit.
level. I'm talking about
Yes.
no. That's the question.
When
If
it,
you
when
had
it comes
$1 trillion,
to safety,
if
when it
me
comes to safety,
if me and my people have $1 trillion to negotiate in the world, I dictate what happens based on how they want to communicate, how they want to deal with me,
As
based
a whole.
on their economy.
as a whole, right? As
Right.
a whole.
So I
Has
have
nothing
with
to
$1
do with
trillion,
individuals.
I have with
Hey,
$1 trillion, I have the ability to
True.
crash their economy, bro.
When it comes to communities, but you don't have the ability to control individuals.
Or behavior. So
mean,
yeah, I agree with everything. So you saying everything you're saying is correct. I agree with you. But you think everybody's gonna be on the same plane with you? You think
If
somebody will say, I'm gonna get what he got? I want what he got?
If I got
I won't take it from
how many of us in this country, African Americans in this country? How many of us is it?
I don't know.
About 40 plus million?
Okay.
40 plus million.
We'll
And
go with that.
everybody's behind me in terms of moving in the world with $1 trillion.
Okay. So what I'm saying to you is that small percentage that don't give a shit and they working with pain, they working with whatever.
Anger,
Okay.
jealousy.
That's why nobody respects us in this world, because we have that money and we are easily influenced.
No, first of all, we have that money and we only dealing with individual values, period. Is why I even asked the question.
Brother, we passed that point. You asked me
No, we not.
question.
No, we not. No, we not.
You getting into
I
the
don't think
nuances
so.
of it. You getting off into the weeds.
No,
You
no,
asked
no,
me
I'm saying.
You asked me as a collective. You asked that question. And
Bro,
I'm giving you the answer. Bro.
What I'm doing is I'm answering you as we go. I get what you're saying. I'm just adding
I
on
don't think
to.
you get what I'm saying, bro.
All
But,
right.
you know,
All right, that's
Listen,
cool.
I don't think you get what I'm saying. But, you know, it is what it is.
I started by asking the question. The reason why I asked the question, because it seems like when our people in our community become successful monetarily, right? Lawyers, doctors, athletes,
They want to
business.
escape. They want to escape, bro.
Can I finish, Big Dog?
They
They
want to
leave.
escape.
They leave our community.
They want to escape.
Okay, so all right, okay, I get it. I know that, Big Dog.
Okay.
So that's the point I was saying. Why? I was asking when you get $1 trillion, is it safe for me to be in our community with $1 trillion? May not be safe to be nowhere with $1 trillion, actually.
No, it's not.
Right, but I mean that was my point.
It's
So
got to the point where you can't even be in our community with rapper money. So,
Thank
I mean,
That was my point.
$1 trillion is unthinkable.
Right.
Man, with $1 trillion, you can run the fucking world, man, because people have to negotiate with you to keep keep money flowing in their economy, man. Come on, man.
Speaking to that, bro, if we did have that money as a resource to go out and use it as leverage, wouldn't we be pissing on somebody else?
But we do
Like the
need,
rest of the world do?
but we do need other people to cooperate with us.
We do. We definitely do.
How?
Yeah.
If we got $1 trillion, how do we don't need nobody to cooperate
Why not?
with us if we
Why
got
not?
$1 trillion?
Why
we
not?
dictate economies, man.
I get that.
But
I'm
see,
not saying
there's
that you're wrong,
that
but
statement again.
Tell me if you need to
That's
cooperate.
why.
There-
I know what
There-
your said.
there's that statement again. I mean, if we had $1 trillion, we could dictate economies. Wouldn't we be guilty of the same subjugation that we're suffering?
Yeah,
if we were to do that. So you're saying,
what if that's the ways of the world, bro? What if that's the ways of the world and there's nothing else? What if that's the conclusion that we have to come to, bro?
But what if it's something else though, bro? You think you don't
want to lose?
Hold on. I'm saying you think a certain way, which is not wrong. But what if somebody's thinking the opposite of what you're thinking?
Then they need to step their game up to stay on point with me.
Okay, so what do you need to do when it comes to your game, though? Do you need to step your game up?
Okay, so you want me to have humanity?
Yes.
Is that how the world works, bro?
It has nothing to do with the world, man. The world, we always flow with the world, though.
How the hell, man, that we as African
Americans,
listen, man.
Okay.
How do we in terms of the world, we dictate everything, but we have less power?
Because we accept it.
Exactly.
Because what we do is we
have $1 trillion.
People. No, listen to what I'm saying to you. People count on our opinion. This is why I said we had the $1 trillion, whatever the amount of dollars we have. We have that amount of money, but what we do is we fall in line because we are the most conservative, we are the most patriotic, we are the most out of everyone in this country. We fall in line for everything, right?
We don't own anything either. We don't want to own it. What if
we make the decision monetarily wise? We make the decision like, yo, let us move toward monetary freedom. I don't know. I don't have a plan. I don't have nothing more than that. What if we move toward, because we never done it? We've never done it. That's the one thing that I can say that as a community, we've never done.
If we do it,
monetary freedom.
If we decide to do that route, everybody had to cooperate, and it'd be a tight struggle for a lot of people. A lot of people be uncomfortable for a long time.
But Bill, we're uncomfortable now. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And we don't have nothing to hold on to. And I'm talking about the folks.
Do y'all know how?
Don't have it. I'm talking about the folks who don't have it. We don't have shit.
In our Congress, man.
Oh, what we got to do is there's a sacrifice we have to make, right?
In our Congress, bro, do you realize, man, that there's debate whether or not, man, we extend our credit line and shit? You realize that? And that amounts up to trillions of dollars every damn year.
Okay, so if we look, do we
the world is standing on that damn heels.
Do we actually extend
can I finish my point, man?
No, you said something. I'm saying, do we actually extend?
Let him finish. Keith. Let him finish. He's going somewhere. Let him finish.
Okay,
let him finish. Keith Fluky, go ahead and finish.
My point is, man, it's all about our credit rating. It's all about the money that we have to supplement their governments. And if we go under, the world goes under. So it's all about the money that we can generate and the credit that we generate. So the world stands by as we sit around on some dumbass shit, debate whether or not we're going to give credit to this country to make the world move, man. Now, you think about it in that aspect, bro, in that concept, in terms of credit line, and money. That dictates everything.
Let me say this to you.
Now, if we as a people, African Americans, we got $1 trillion that we stand behind.
All right, Damon.
We get that shit.
All right. Wait. Hold on for a second, fellas. I mean, we've been stepping on each other all night, and you made a very poignant point, Damon.
Make your point, bro. Make your point.
I'm making a point. You made a very poignant point, Bill. You have something to say, man. Let's get some control, man, for real, because it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand.
No,
yes, it is.
Yes,
it is.
No,
yes,
we're not.
Because it's getting out of control because I can't say what I want to say when I want to say it. Let's get some order.
If you have something,
let's get some order.
He's right, man. He's right, man. Let's get some order.
Okay.
I'm asking for order.
Real quick. I want to make about what Fluke was saying. Thank you, Jacquard. Listen, what Fluke is saying is right, but Fluke, how do we go about doing that without negotiating with the powers that be? I'm piggybacking what that girl Malika Harris said. The power to be, they in control of everything. For to get a foot in the door, you got to at some point work with them to get us back into a power position, right?
Right.
You just can't say.
Right. But when you think about
them, kick the door down and say, "Fuck y'all, we out. We got our own shit, and they hold control of everything."
Yeah, but bro, they can say fuck that shit. But if we got $1 trillion of backing, they can't say fuck that shit because it affects their lives. It affects their kitchen table, bro. They can't say it. Our problem is that we don't recognize that and we don't exert that power, bro.
I think the thing that we don't recognize is the fact that $1 million is still a life-changing amount of money, man.
Yeah,
that's. I mean, people piss on millions of dollars, saying that it's not worth it. Yes, it is worth it. You have to govern your pennies, man. You have to spend them wisely. You have to understand and know where not to let them go.
I hear what you're saying.
I mean, you all right, bro? You done got frustrated and started throwing your toys and shit, bro. Well, I can't. I think you're on mute. I think you're muted, Keith. You're muted, Keith.
Can't hear you, Keith.
You mad the motherfucker too. Look at him. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
You're like Morton down here.
But I mean, all in all, man, shit. A little bit of money, man, to make, if anything, it'll make things nicer.
Yeah. Let's go back to what Martin Luther King said, man. We can't to beat the system. We got to join. You got to be able to know how to get involved and join the system and take it over slowly but surely. You can't because you got $1 trillion. They're gonna kick the door down and they're gonna say, "Oh, here, let them in. You got $1 trillion." They're gonna say, "Okay, you become a target now."
If we figured out a way to properly use $1 trillion worth of resources, man, they would devalue the American dollar so fast. But you wouldn't even know what the hell to do.
The scares me. I'm not trying to belittle our people. I love my people. But I don't know if we can work together. I don't know if we have the patience to work together like that. Can we get everybody on the same page?
But see, Bill, the thing is this though, man. Nobody has that kind of cooperation. No community does. We just have. No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. Just because they come here or wherever they are and they collectively work together for a time does not necessarily mean that it's going to be successful for the long term.
True.
They still deal with caste systems.
Sure. Even Indian culture, I see like a lot of cultures. I see the people in our culture, right? Real quick, I don't mean to dwell on it, but in our culture, we'll raise that when you become 18, right? Right? Become 18, you either get out, get a job, help pay some bills, go to Army, or go to college. Other communities, they live 20, 30 in the same house, right? And they'll live all together for years. They'll stay together and keep their money all in one, right?
Yeah, but they're still going. They're still going to college and they're still buying houses.
Right. And they're buying houses together. Like I go in a dealership, they come in a dealership sometimes, not to keep dwelling on thing, but the parents don't even speak English. The grandkids negotiating with me on what the grandparent papa want. And they say, okay, look, we agree that we'll do this. We'll take these 2 cars or whatever. We agree to shake your hand. And I'll say, okay, they want to say, well, give me your 1,000, give me your 2,000. Let me go back and get my 5,000. Everybody, uncles is community, you know what I mean? You say, well, who lives who? we all live together or live in 2 houses together. You know what I'm saying? But black people, we kind of separate ourselves for some
But
reason.
Bill, that's a
Go ahead.
misnomer, man. We've been doing that for years, and we are convinced that we don't do what they do. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about, man. My I'm not finna just on a fictitious individual. I'm just making up a person. Say a man, a woman, husband, and wife went to buy a house, right? And the first initial thing was, because of the jobs y'all have, you can afford this type of house, right? And then when they go through the negotiation of buying a house, those people those loan people who's giving them the loan to buy the house see who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, initially we gave you this amount, $150,000, $200,000. Because we recognize who you are, we're gonna put you on this plus loan shit or whatever, and we only gonna give you this amount, and then after a certain amount of years, you can renegotiate for a lower interest loan and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That happens every day with black people.
Mm-hmm.
Every damn day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now I said that to say this. At what point do you hold these people, these lending institutions, and all these people are accountable with the people that's buying houses? Because they say that black people, African Americans, are not, they're not good people to
loan money.
Deal with loans with and all that stuff, which is a fucking fallacy. They are. They are. But because of some bullshit ass ideology based on racism, they get shit on. Now you think about all the black people that's buying houses in this country that not up to this point, who has to deal with the bullshit with balloon payments and interest loans and all that bullshit. They still buying houses with the damn housing market that crashed, and they still buying houses. And you are you going to tell me that these people who are still buying houses, keeping houses, and doing that shit, they're not people that you should go with? That's what's happening. That's what's happening. They say black men don't take care of their children. They just did a study to find out that black men are the main men who do take care of their kids.
Right.
So understand what we're dealing with and who we're dealing with. Understand that. And we still overcoming the stereotypes and all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you, and I'm asking you, Bill, how do you deal with that systemic bullshit, man? Do you continue to try to work within that system, or do you create your own shit with the backing of a $1 trillion?
Well, with the backing of $1 trillion, like I said, I don't know the exact answer, Fluke. I can't lie to you, bro.
You change the narrative, man.
Hmm?
You change the narrative.
But do you kick the door down? Do you kick the door down, or you just, or I mean, you know what I mean? Or do you try to finesse it? I mean, I don't know.
The door has already been kicked down. It's not. Here's the thing, bro. It's not kicking the door down because it's already been established.
Right.
What we're working against is that element that's trying to make us look like we're not who we are or who we have been. That's what we're dealing with.
Right.
So when you talk about when you talk about as a whole, as a community,
Yeah.
we have $1 trillion to work with.
You hear me?
It's
Okay.
about negotiation. It's not about going back on some old bullshit. It's about negotiation. We
But
have the leverage.
But when you negotiate,
But-
like anything else, it takes time. It takes time to get to every step is a step to every negotiation, right?
You talking about 400 years we passed it. What it the time
Yeah,
it takes,
I
man.
got you. I know, I got you. Look, I'm with you. I'm with you, but I mean, I don't know how we go about it. I mean, you know, if you know
Okay,
way.
this is my last point. It's not about how we go about it because we already done it, man. We just have to convince ourselves. It's not about other people outside of our community. It's not about them. It's about us realizing that we already there.
Yeah.
We are already there. Vis-a-vis what Keith said, we have $1 trillion to negotiate with.
Right.
Okay,
That's what we are.
I've been listening to you guys, and the bottom line is this. First and foremost, if you have $1 trillion to add to a situation, then you do not negotiate with anybody.
Exactly.
All right.
That's what I'm making.
Okay, so it was not the fact that I was disagreeing with you guys. The simple fact is I understand where I'm coming from when it has to do with it. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I understand where my bargaining power is. You know what I mean?
But you do have to negotiate.
Now,
You do have to
I'm
negotiate.
huh?
You do have to negotiate somewhere down the line.
No, hold on. If you in, listen, this is the point I'm trying to make to you is this.
And key, real quick. You
No,
have to negotiate for the resources.
Bill.
You have to negotiate for the resources, not to say
Huh?
the money, for the resources to use the money in
Bro,
the proper places.
First of all, Bill, it's a good point. And Damien and Jaquari, y'all made good point. But understand something. It's a simple fact that you guys are coming from the point where you don't have the power position. You don't have the position of power. So if you have these spending dollars and it's being acknowledged that you have these spending dollars, that is your power position, period. So
Keith, you arguing against it, man.
you dictate how you feel and how you want things to go, period. I mean, look, I'm gonna keep it as simple as that. Is you go from the point where you see the things that you see, and you have the power to actually. And look, the point is, we are having a discussion about what we would do if we was in a position to do,
Right.
not what position we're in at the moment. No, this is what if I was in a position and I had this big dog power, this is what I would demand, period.
But Keith, that was your argument in the beginning. I was boasting your argument, man.
Now, listen to what I'm saying.
You said, hold on, Keith. You said we got $1 trillion to negotiate.
I feel. That's all I have. It has nothing to do. I'm not disagreeing with you. There's no debate. It's nothing happening.
I don't know what you're doing, bro, because I'm confused, man. I'm not disrespecting you. You made a statement. You said black people have $1 trillion at their access. Right? Did you or did you not say that?
I'm just talking about having the power of $1 trillion to spend.
Okay, so with that information, with that knowledge and that understanding, my argument is, how do you negotiate that situation, man?
And my answer to that is you don't negotiate. You set a standard from how you want to move, period. That's all.
Oh, it's getting late, brother, for me, man.
So what?
All right, man.
It's just getting late for me, big dog. I got work in the morning. How we making out with the time frame here? We almost done or?
Hey, love you, bro.
Love you too, Fruit.
All right.
I can hear you, Keith.
I said, okay. If that's what you need to do, go ahead and do what you have to do.
I'm hanging in with you. I'm hanging in.
I mean, this is how I feel about it, and it has to do with anything but how I feel about it.
I think we said a lot, man. You know,
Yes, we did.
it's some people can mull over and come to their own conclusion and shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And everybody got a strong point, a strong perspective. That's what it's about. Strong
Exactly. Preach, bro. That's exactly what it was.
Good. And sometimes no wrong or right, man. Just
Yep.
you know
You're
what I mean?
absolutely right.
We was going for this conversation, and basically everybody had their own interpretation on how they feel about it, and that's what the whole point of what we do and how we do this. All right, and right now, the Strong Perspective Podcast. We on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we're on IG, Instagram. Hopefully, we're going to look at Instagram, and if you made a comment, we're going to make sure that we acknowledge it, and we're going to go from there. And the bottom line is this. This is Strong Perspective Podcast, and what we do is we speak on how we feel. If you disagree with it, that's right, and I understand you're not being dismissed. But the bottom line is, if you want to come on and articulate how you feel, let me know. Let me know on Facebook. Let me know on Instagram, and I got it. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to come on. And you're gonna speak your mind. But look, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. Please go in there, like, share, and subscribe. Okay, and we're gonna go from there. This has always been a beautiful journey. Any last words before we get off here?
It's always a pleasure. Thanks for having me, big dog. Fruit, Jacory, I love y'all.
Hey, look,
Love you too, bro.
you guys have great conversations, you have great comments. Thank you very much. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. This is one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong. Y'all have a beautiful, beautiful weekend, and we're gonna be back tomorrow. I said tomorrow. Damn.
We said tomorrow. What we doing tomorrow, man?
7:30. Next Friday is 7:30. Tune in.
Oh.
We're gonna do our thing. Strong Perspective Podcast, and we out.
What we doing tomorrow, bro?
Huh?
I think we still live.
I don't know, but we still live right now.
Still live,
I'm
though.
not.
It says live on my joint.
I just need to know so I can be prepared.